Thursday, October 21st, Cookeville City Council meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Womack.
Here.
Councilman Miller.
Here.
Vice Mayor Wheaton.
Here.
Councilman Walker.
Here.
4 present.
At this time, I would like to ask those that wish to do so to stand for the invocation given tonight by Rob Wheeler from First United Methodist Church, then followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Gracious God, as we gather here to do the business of our community, we pray for your blessings upon the people of our area and of what we do as we meet this evening. We ask for your guidance in our discussions and decisions and pray that you would reveal your will for our ways forward. God, I ask for your blessings upon our leaders here, our first responders and law enforcement, our healthcare workers, and all those who are working in our community to make it a better place. And we also remember those in our community who are less fortunate and struggle with life's difficulties. May they not be forgotten or cast aside. We thank you for our community and for the people who make it what it is. Bless them and guide all of us to be more loving and caring toward one another. And may your grace and virtue be known in all we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rob. Item 3, consider approval of agenda as presented. Are there any changes?
Yes, ma'am. We request that you pull item 7A, which is approval of the cost share for the emergency HVAC repair at the Leslie Town Center, but we'd ask you to pull that off the agenda tonight.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the amended agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
So moved.
Okay. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 4A, Cookeville Wastewater Treatment Plant Presentation 2021 Operational Excellence Award. Mr. Kelly.
Mayor and council, I wanted to share something with you. Here back in August, there was a water professional conference held, and it was held in Chattanooga this year. It's all the engineers, vendors, water utilities, regulators come and have it's Tennessee, Kentucky chapter of the water professionals. And they came to Chattanooga this year, had it, about 1,600 attendees this year. And in that, they present awards to facilities and recognize certain facilities. And so I wanted to do this press release on award, the wastewater plant award. The City of Cookeville is pleased to announce that its Department of Water Quality Control wastewater treatment plant received the Operational Excellence Award at the recently completed Water Professional Conference held in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Approximately 1,600 water professionals from across Tennessee and Kentucky attended the conference. The Clean Water Professionals of Kentucky and Tennessee bestowed an Operational Excellence Award to the City of Cookeville for continued outstanding operation of the Cookeville Wastewater Treatment Plant during the period of January 1st, 2020 through December 31st, 2020. The achievement of this award is very significant and extremely difficult to obtain. It is a direct reflection of the operation and maintenance staff at the facility. Each water resource recovery facility is issued a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit by the state of Tennessee and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. This permit requires reclaimed water to meet very stringent water quality criteria before being discharged into the receiving stream. To qualify for this award, the utility is allowed only one exceedance. This award is conferred to recognize the dedication, resolve, and outstanding effort of the employees of this facility. Cookeville was one of only 15 facilities out of approximately 260 across Tennessee to receive the reward. We give credit to the award to the employees' hard work and attention to detail as a driving force behind the award, and we commend their efforts.
Thank you. Congratulations on that.
This is Tom, Graham, and John Buford. Tom's got a biology degree from Tennessee Tech, and John's got his agricultural engineering degree from Tennessee Tech, and they were accepting the award for Cookeville.
And we also have item 4B, Cookeville Water System scores 100% on the State of Tennessee Sanitary Survey. Mr. Kelly?
Yeah, so every year or every couple of years, the state comes in, TDEC comes in and it audits your water system. They do it pretty thorough. It's 599 point systems, and they look at every aspect of it. The mayor received a letter recently that we scored 100%. They look at your water tanks, how you operate them, what kind of condition, your water plant, your distribution system, how it's operated, your procedures for repairs, your engineering, how your data is collected, and how you keep up all your data. So I want to do another little press release for that one. So the city of Cookeville is pleased to announce that its water department has achieved a perfect score of 100% on its recent Tennessee Department of Environmental and Conservation Sanitary Survey of Community Water Systems. The survey covered the time period from November 25th, 2019 to July 14th, 2021. The sanitary survey is an unannounced on-site evaluation and audit of the total operations and maintenance of a public water system by TDEC's Division of Water Supply. The two-day survey inspected every facet of Cookeville's water system, included the complete operations, maintenance, and safety programs, records and documentations, water treatment techniques, water quality tests, water distribution system, cross-connection, backflow prevention, engineering, equipment, facilities, and construction procedures. The city of Cookeville is notified of its perfect score to a letter to Mayor Ricky Shelton from TDEC's Brad Ulmer. The department credits the perfect score to many factors, but largely attributes the department's employees' hard work and attention to details as the driving force behind this perfect score. Cookeville Water System produces water from Center Hill Reservoir and serves approximately 19,520 direct meter customers, along with 7 wholesale customers that include City of Allgood, City of Baxter, Cookeville Boat Dock Utility District, Old Gainesboro UD, Bangham, Double Springs UD, and O'Connor UD. And just wanted to recognize our employees' good work.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you.
5A, consider approval of minutes of council meeting held on October 7th, 2021 and October 12th, 2021. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 5B, consider on second and final reading ordinance 0210920, the rezoning of property located on Salem Church Road and England Drive, tax map 066, parcel 036.00, from CR Regional Commercial and RS15 Single Family Residential to CG General Commercial. Mr. Ward.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. We've received no calls or comments, and there's no changes to the ordinance since first reading. So I would recommend your approval on second and final reading.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion? All vote.
Sorry. All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you. 6A, consent agenda. And 6B, consider awarding bids for uniforms, water quality control, and leisure services department. 6B, consider awarding bids for 2 2,500 kVA transformers, electric department. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7B, consider approval of basic life insurance plan for city employees. Ms. Emmel.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. A benefit we provide our full-time employees is a life insurance plan in which the city pays the premiums. At retirement, they may choose to keep the coverage in the group plan, but they are responsible to pay the premiums as a retiree. We have a 2-year rate guarantee with Lincoln Financial Group that expires December 31st. Their renewal option increases premiums for the same plan benefits. You can see for the active employee class, it goes from 33 cents per $1,000 of coverage to 42.9 cents. And for the retirees, it goes from 47 cents per $1,000 of coverage to 61.2 cents per $1,000 of coverage. The dependent coverage and the AD&D rates will stay the same. McGriff Insurance Services is the city's broker, and they marketed the coverage to 9 different carriers. And they all declined to quote because they could not be competitive with the renewal that we received from Lincoln Financial. So the increased cost to the city for active employees is approximately $16,000 annually, and that's citywide and includes the utilities. And the annual increase for the retiree class is approximately $3,600 annually. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, but I would recommend your approval of the Lincoln Financial Group proposal for employee paid life and AD&D for calendar year 2022.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7C, consider authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Loose Designs for preliminary engineering and design of an aquatic facility. Mr. Woods. Put that anywhere.
Make an entrance, right? Sorry about that. Thank you. Council members, we recently sent out a request for proposal for preliminary engineering and design services for a new aquatics facility for our community. And as we have discussed before, and as you know, an aquatics facility was the most frequently mentioned need in our recent system-wide master plan. So we sought these proposals from qualified companies to help us through the process of determining what type of facility we should build, where we should build it, and what it might cost to build, and what it would look like once it is built. And also how it might be phased if it needs to be phased, if it's a phased project. We received 7 proposals which were reviewed and scored by a committee of 7 individuals based on the scoring parameters outlined in the RFP. Those who evaluated proposals were Kara Sheets and Chad McDonald and myself from the Department of Leisure Services, John Ross Albertson from County Parks and Recreation Department, Jenny Malone, who's the coach of the Cookeville High School and Upperman High School swim teams, and Councilman Eric Walker and City Manager James Mills. I averaged the scores and I've included the totals for you there you see in front of you. I will say that these companies are all qualified and these were very close and very competitive and good proposals. But Los Design was the highest scoring firm. Los has 39 years of experience in this field. They've done many aquatics facilities and projects. They have a great track record and they put together a strong team for this particular project. And I'm confident that they will do good work. Mr. Mills and I have met with them since we met in work session on Monday. And we've talked with them to discuss the scope of services and their proposed fees. And we are recommending your authorization of the city manager to enter an agreement with Los Design not to exceed $79,500. And I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and I would recommend your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion on item 7C?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say a few words. I think that this company was certainly stood out as a professional company that offered a lot of great merits to designing a water park facility. They've built a lot of good water park facilities here in this state. They've built several facilities that are similar to that for different municipalities. And I think the most important thing as we go forward is getting this proposal and getting this design is to consider the cost that is going to be associated with doing a water park and how that's going to affect the city in the future and what we need to do to make sure that we can make that a viable facility for us in the future. So thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm really excited. This is one of our first votes on aquatics facility, and that's always been one of our number one things on our surveys. I've got a 18-month-old, so whenever it's built, he'll be able to swim, and I can't wait until we get that built. So.
Thank you.
The previous city council that the mayor and I were part of, we went and looked at several facilities, and we've been straining for several years to attempt something like this to get it built for the people in Cookeville. So we've been looking at this for 6 or 7 years, and I hope we can get something done.
All right, there's a motion on the item and seconded. All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7D, consider awarding bid for replacement of chain link fencing at Cane Creek Youth Fields. Mr. Woods.
Thank you. Council members, we advertised and received bids for the replacement of fencing at 2 of the youth fields at Cane Creek Sportsplex. And we received 1 bid from Cloyd Fencing for $55,500. This is a project that is a real need. It will improve the safety of those fields. It will also enable us to host more tournaments, youth fast pitch tournaments there on those 2 fields because we're going with a little bit taller fencing, and we'll be able to move home plate out a little bit and make it a little bit more versatile. And so all of the users there were excited about that project, and especially, again, it does improve the safety. So I would recommend your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion is seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah. Thanks for always bringing the fun projects to us whenever we can do things for our community like that. Thanks for bringing this, and this will bring a lot of people to Cookeville, this project. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Woods.
Thank you.
Item 7E, consider approval to purchase 1 side load sanitation truck utilizing the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative. Mr. Brown.
Vice Mayor and Council, we would like to use the Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative to purchase a side load sanitation truck. The purchase will be from National Auto Fleet for a price of $292,260. And this is a budgeted item. Request your approval.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any discussion?
I'd like to say one quick thing about the sanitation department. You know, we're really blessed here in Cookeville to have a great group of guys who work really hard for us. And in the past year and over a year now, and throughout COVID and everything that's going on, these guys have really had to put themselves out there and commit themselves to the job that they do. And I think that's a really important thing for our city. For us not to be able to pick up our trash and do our sanitation would cripple the city. And, you know, that sometimes goes underlooked and underappreciated. So, you know, you think about heroes out there and people working hard for us. I really do appreciate the hard work the sanitation department puts in.
Yeah, I completely agree. Being someone who's lived somewhere that has not had trash pickup, you don't realize what you got till you don't have it. So thank you. Yeah, y'all are out there all the weather, all the time. So I appreciate it and happy to get y'all a side load sanitation truck.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. 7F, consider awarding bid for 1 3-reel trailer. Mr. Haney.
Vice Mayor and council members, I'm requesting your approval to purchase a 3-reel wire trailer from Utility Equipment Services for $37,977.65. This is a budgeted item, and I would recommend your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Haney. Is there a motion? Motion is seconded. Any discussion? I'll also say thank you to your department because I know when the power goes out, y'all are out there getting it turned back on as quick as you can. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Haney. 7G, consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate the purchase of facilities from Upper Cumberland Electric membership that serve the water intake pumping facility. Mr. Kelly.
Mayor and council, I'm seeking authorization for the city manager to negotiate the purchase of facilities serving our water intake pumping facility from Upper Cumberland Electric membership. We requested an estimate to sell us a portion of that underground line. And so we've got that, and I've got it in your packet. I've talked to you guys about this. Plants up here, intakes here at the lake. Whoops. So Upper Cumberland feeds down the road, but they cut across country, across the top of the ridge. We had on August 6th of this year, had a tree fell across the line, had some issues getting power restored. So we've been talking, the line runs down the road to the intake, so it's accessible except for a part that runs cross country. So we've asked them in the past to try to give us to move that line. They won't move it. They said they would charge us to move it. So we talked to Mr. Haney with the electric company. They give us an estimate to move it. So what we need to do, there's a transformer that sits right here. There's a pole that comes down. And so we want to purchase and install the electric line from the turnaround, which is right here, where it cuts across the hill. We want Upper Cumberland to set us a primary meter there, and then we would run the line underground with Mr. Haney's help and buy that transformer. So they've given us a price to do that. In the estimate, the depreciated price of that transformer is $26,961.53. And to install a three-phase primary metering point, that gives us an estimate of $12,000. And so what I'm asking the city, authorize city manager to negotiate maybe up to $50,000 for us to get this purchased from them. And then we will run that underground and own it from that point.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Is there a motion? Motion is seconded. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7H, consider authorizing the city manager to enter into engineering contract for water line replacement, South Jefferson Avenue, TDOT repaving project. Mr. Kelly.
Yes. I forgot I had another item on the agenda. This is South Jefferson. TDOT's going and have notified us they're going to pave South Jefferson at some point. We've asked them to hold up. This is just, the circles are where we've had water line breaks probably over the last 15 years. The bigger the circle, the bigger the pipe. And so we've asked them to sort of hold up. We want to go in like we did on Washington Avenue and Willow, try to redo that before they repave, and we're out there digging it up. So we've negotiated a price with CPI engineers. It's not to exceed $331.30, and it's broken down there. They're the engineers that's doing it from Willow Ave, from I-40 South. They're doing that project with TDOT. So this is same rate. So we're requesting your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion is seconded. Any discussion? I think it's important we remind people that it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. It's going to be amazing, but it's going to be a little bumpy.
Yeah, just remember North Washington.
Yes.
It's good now.
I think we all remember North Washington. So just let people know it will get better. So thank you. Any more discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Item 8, is there anyone who would like to speak to the city council on any non-agenda items?
Not a non-agenda item, but as the council knows, the council, Vice Mayor, before the fall break, the council each individually did an evaluation of the city manager, the annual evaluation that is normally done. We did it this fall. And each member of the city council turned that in to me, and I compiled the results of that evaluation, and I'm here to announce those results tonight. Those results, I think, are particularly important to show on business and finance. It was 4.95 out of a total of 5. And on council relationships, it was 4.83 on a 5-point scale. And the total compilation was for the whole over 50 different criteria that the council evaluated Mr. Mills. The grade was 4.73, which if you were in school, that would be a 95, which is a solid A. And so I think any way you look at this, it's an outstanding, I think your evaluations each independently have recognized that he's done an outstanding job over the past year. And so I submit that report to the city council.
Thank you. And I would like to make a motion to accept that report of the evaluation and to give Mr. Mills a well-deserved raise to increase his salary to $152,000. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I do want to say, I call Mr. Mills all the time about the city things, and he always answers the phone. There's a lot of projects that we are able to get accomplished because he is working all the time for us. He's got a great staff, a great team. And I really do thank you very much for being such a good city manager.
I agree. I think a round of applause are in order for everything that you've done, putting up with us. And I mean, the city's been through a lot these past few years, and you have taken every bit of it and kept going and made the city better and found ways to give our employees raises and found ways to make sure that our city was safe. And we could not do it without you. So please stick around.
James, I want to say just leadership is found at times of crisis. We've certainly been in that a few times in the past 2 years. And you've done a great job leading us and leading our city, and all your work as city manager has just been outstanding. So thank you very much.
I've worked with several city managers, and I think you're doing an excellent job.
And I've got one more thing to say. I can't tell you how big of an advocate he is for the city employees. All this raises and everything that the city employees have gotten, it's because James has worked with Brenda and really worked hard to get those raises for our city employees. And that's one reason why I felt comfortable with giving Mr. Mills a raise, is because he has been able to help all of our city employees.
Thank you. If I could, I'm blessed to live in Cookeville. But I couldn't do my job without the fantastic employees we've got. And there's a better group of department directors in the state of Tennessee and the country. I don't believe it. I'm so blessed to work with these guys and gals, and it makes my job a whole lot easier to know that I can depend on them to get this job done. And again, we're just really fortunate to have the employees we've got. We've got a lot of dedicated people, and I appreciate all the council's done to help support our employees, and they appreciate you guys. So I just want to make sure you do that. But thank you.
So we need to vote, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 4 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. That ends the agenda portion of our meeting. Is there any council members who'd like to say something?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Ronnie Kelly and his staff on the awards today. We had the opportunity to do that earlier, but great job. Thanks for taking care of our wastewater and keeping us in good shape as a city. I think that's really incredible that the city can stand out amongst everyone in those roles. So great news for the city of Cookeville, Ronnie Kelly.
Don Prince and I were at the Nashville and Eastern quarterly meeting along with Mayor Porter up here, and several things were discussed. One thing is that the long-term debt that has caused so much problems is being paid for by the state of Tennessee, so that solves a big problem for the Nashville and Eastern Railroad. And Don has worked with R.J. Corman to see about the caboose, the L&N caboose that the city of Cookeville had and has donated to the city of Baxter about figuring a way to transport it from where it's resting right now all the way down to Baxter in a reasonable fashion. So I want to commend Don for the work he's doing with getting that done.
Meeting adjourned.